Hey, what's up, everybody? I've been still working on some of these deep house bass lines where I'm just doing a couple of sessions where I'm more or less just focused on trying to write some interesting, different deep house bass lines. And for those that were here earlier, I'll show a quick showcase of sort of what I started with and how I was focused on it and where I've gotten to now. So, originally, I threw up a pretty simple little drum line just to give myself to something to bounce off of, and they kind of came along like this, and they developed from very simple bass lines, some of which actually sound almost a little more techno-ish, which is kind of funny, not intended, but something I might play with. But um, I also threw together a couple variations of them, and those variations turned out to be pretty good. I liked some of those a little better, so we went with them. And you can hear the bass patch is kind of evolving a little bit. And I was using a recent track I wrote called "Close Your Eyes" as a guide. So the track that I was using to start with is called "Close Your Eyes," and its main bass line is this. That's a very raw version of it, but I was also using that bass sound as a little check for some of these other lines to see how they would sound with kind of an FM tube bass in the back. As I developed this, a couple of them started to get interesting here over the last few, and I went ahead and evolved the bass sound that I'm using over here. So now that's the bass sound I'm working with, which is kind of a combination of the prior sounds all put together. Now I started noticing really it was this the back-to-back 16ths that really kind of helped distinguish the deep house sound from some of the others that you might hear, and make it a little less techno-y or a little less more house. Those little back-to-back 16ths that are swung just a little bit. So I evolved this a little bit here, and I was playing straight up with just the bounce of those 16ths at this point. Now, right around the 7th or 8th, I start getting some interesting ones. Something else I do while I'm working on this kind of stuff is I'll bring in some sort of a vocal that may or may not work for a good deep house track, but by putting a little vocal in there, it gives me something to listen to it against, and you try different things. And not everything's going to work. Like, I don't think that worked very well with that bass line at all, but it's kind of cool to just listen to them a little bit and hear them in a little bit of vocal context. That's a little clash of major and minor there, but I bring these kind of things in and chop them up a little bit up. So there we go. Now, I think right around here, I start getting into a little bit, I think, more deep housey type sounds. And I'm really kind of convincing myself that what makes the deep house kind of feeling for me is the rest with the 16ths. So here, kind of like the drive of this one, and it's got that that sort of rest sound with the 16ths bouncing off of it. Now, this one felt a little bit straight, so what I did with the next one was took that same concept and just shifted the first beat so it's on the off beat. I like this one a lot better. Here's another one that's got the same kind of concept to it. here I did the same thing where I shifted the first beat off, so it's on the off beat. And actually this one kind of hits pretty cool, I think. So I like this one a lot. And again, I put that in a little context with this. So I like that a lot. And then this very last one, frankly, almost got me inspired up to go ahead and just fire up a track. Again, that's not my goal with this video. This video is just to think about how to write variations of bass lines so you can kind of get yourself inspired a little bit. But this one I liked a lot. Check this one out. I like that just little interplay right there between that. And so I really kind of like the direction that one's going. And again, I think, for me, what this is kind of highlighting is that the deep house feeling that I associate with deep house is kind of that light swing. I've got a groove patch on here, but this groove patch is not it's not all that crazy. This is only a 16/52, and I've only got it about 73%. So it's kind of quiet, all things considered. But it's this hit with the rest, and then the bouncing 16ths right between it that really kind of make that deep house feel for me. So I think that I'm going to try to work with this track or this concept here and see if I can find a vocal to sit on top of it. And frankly, that Don't Give Up kind of sits, I think, fairly nice. So I may end up working with that. Anyway, this was just a quick one tonight. I got a couple other things going on, so I'm going to end up jumping off. I see I've got a schedule here. I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. That schedule's not correct for those of you that are still around and watching, but I appreciate it, and you all